Getting started on social, I would at least consider 4 areas. One is just claiming my social profiles everywhere. And that's just, you have to do that. It's like registering your name. But just because you are registering them all, don't feel obliged to make them something that you have to be active on all of them. So you can start small, but just claim everything everywhere. The second thing I'd advise is just to keep your posts short and sweet. I would not go overboard as you are beginning the process, and just minimize, as an author, you have a lot to say, really try to narrow that down and keep that brief. No one scrolling through these feeds has time for big, long content and posts. The third one is, I would recommend finding those really supportive friends who probably were the ones who would read your book and tell you what they thought of it and made it a better book. Find those people that can help you with your social posts. Because if you identify a couple of them, then they can help you know that that's not the right post for this medium, or that it is the right thing to say, and they'll give you that quick help that will go a long, long way. And then my last recommendation is to crowdsource. And crowdsource as much as you can. Get feedback from your social community, involve them in it, because that makes it interesting and reasons why people want to be part of your social network. So ask about feedback on titles, on ways of handling certain things, or even plot ideas in social.
I always recommend that they choose no more than 3 platforms. And really, if you're using one and you're using it well and you're using it strategically, then you could have success with just that. And really using 1 or 2 or 3 and using them well and being consistent on them and actually really building an audience and engaging with that audience on those platforms is better than doing a whole bunch of them and spreading yourself too thin. So, a question I get from authors a lot is, well, what's the best social media platform, or which one should I be using? And there is no one size fits all answer here. So I work with authors across the spectrum. So I work with novelists, I work with cookbook authors, I work with business authors, I work with nonfiction authors who are subject matter experts, but not necessarily primarily writers. So it's really, everything is, everyone has a different good fit. And I think, a way to figure out really what you should be using is what you have the most fun on, because it's supposed to be fun. I think it's really worth remembering that most people who are out there using social media are not using it for business purposes. They're using it because it's fun and because it's an enjoyable diversion and they get something out of it. So whichever social media platforms you find yourself liking, give a few of them a try. A few that I really like for writers. I love blogging, even though it's a very sort of old school type of social media. It's still the best place to really give, to go into a little bit more thoughtful content. You can write something that's 500 to 700 words, and you can really, share your voice and really, do all of those things that you're doing with your writing in a sort of shorter format. But it's still a conversation. There's still a comment section. Probably you're sharing it on other social media. Twitter is another great one that I like for writers because it's obviously word-based. And so I think that writers can have a lot of fun. There are a lot of great writers on Twitter. And increasingly people are using the more visual ones like Pinterest and Instagram. I think those are great if you have a visual element to your book, especially. So if you're writing a cookbook, those are really ideal. If you're writing about fashion or something like that. But I think even so, I've seen novelists who are great on Instagram and, they take pictures of what they're reading and take little pictures of their writing desk and their setup. And so really anything that you have fun with can be a good choice.
There's a lot of things you can do, and sometimes it feels overwhelming, like you'll never be able to do all of it. So here's what I suggest. Pick 1 to 3 things and stick with it faithfully. That might be Facebook, that might be Twitter, that might be LinkedIn, it might be blogging once a day. The key to working online is not to get overwhelmed. And I'd call it the zen of working online. You have to be like a horse. You put on these blinders, and everybody's telling you, do this, do that. There's the news program, the latest thing, the social media, the networking. No, you have to decide what you're trying to do and what are you trying to accomplish. And you need to just put on your blinders and block out all the extra noise out there and just focus each day. I suggest people try to get 3 things done a day online and pat yourself on the back when you do it. So many people beat themselves up when they talk to me. I'm just not doing enough. And it's very stressful. And I really think people need to realize if they just do a couple things a day, after a few months of that, you're going to be amazed how much progress you've made. So just take it one thing at a time, try to get a few things done a day and stick with it. And you will build your tribe over time. So that's one method. Now the second one is I'm going to give you some ideas for building your tribe and your followers online. One of the best, most efficient ways, and that's fun too, is to join a forum. So whatever your topic is, join a forum. I'll use my own example. I use a web builder program called Excite Pro. And when I first bought it 6 years ago, I was in the support forum a lot, learning how to use it and all the tips and tricks. And then I got good enough at it that I started to become one of the experts in the forum and answer people's questions. It's all for free. It's it's a process of building trust with other people. I have gotten so many jobs because I've answered questions in that forum. And this is how you will get new clients. You will attract readers, is if you can go for free, go to a place of like-minded people. And I always tell people, be a lurker when you first join. Don't jump in and start trying to be the boss and telling everybody what to do, because there is actually a protocol in forums. And when people just jump in and start, sort of spamming the forum or leaving messages, the group mentality kind of attacks them, and it's hard to recover from that. So you need to go in, figure out what the lay of the land is in there, and then participate. And you won't believe how many friendships have been developed. I've made friends from that forum, people that send me business in Australia, England, Scotland, all around the world. It's been amazing. So that is one other method to go and start getting out there.
I personally love social media, and it is my way of speaking to my audience. They have been they have been there with me every step of the way. When I received my contract from my literary agent, I was there posting a picture of me signing the contract, and my community embraced me, gave me likes and comments and said, good job. They were there during my book launch party. I invited them to my book launch party. They were there reliving the experience with me. They are there right now as I'm being interviewed with Authors Solutions. So they're there every step of the way. And I tell people, embrace in the social media community, because it's such a powerful tool where you can post something and it impacts so many lives. And I actually have a conversation with my community. I tell them what I'm doing on a regular basis, whether it's about my book or about my personal life. It's a great way to just be part of this community that embraces the information that you want. When people think that someone's there 12 hours in front of a computer, that's not the case, because I'm obviously doing one thing or another. I'm off to my next project. So when I have a second there, I'll go on Facebook and like somebody, or I'll comment back on a comment someone made. It's just important that I'm being engaged in this community because someone took the time to say something, and it doesn't take that much time. I can multitask.
It's authentic and organic, in that some days I want to post like 12 things and I'll post them, and some days I don't want to post anything, so I don't post. Like, I'm just not inspired to do it. I want to share my joys. I want to share my wins. I want to share what's fun for me and the things I'm excited about. Like, I had a couple friends who had book releases recently, and I shared that with the world because I want people to know about other great writers. So for me, it's more about the more authentic you are within yourself and the more you share your heart, the better people get to know the real you and the more they care about you as the author. So for me, it's not a science. Like, I don't have a formula for success. I don't believe in posting 3 times an hour or whatever people will teach you. Like, I'm sure that works well for them. But for me, it's like, guys, I'm really excited about this thing. Look at me, I'm at the Museum of Ice Cream. Oh my God, And then they get excited about that, and people are messaging me, where is this? How can I get in? Can I get tickets? And then they write back to me, I got tickets for my 11 Girl Scouts. They're so excited. And so I love inspiring people by my play, like the way I have fun. And I love other authors to like see, look what's possible. Like, I started out with nothing. And we built it over time, and it takes time, and the way that I connect with people through social media is very fun for me, and if it wasn't, I wouldn't do it. So yeah, I think it's, and I think the thing that I didn't realize when I was first starting out is that people really want to know the author. When I thought about like, what are the celebrities, the authors, the people that I really care about, it's not the people who show you the picture on the red carpet, you know, that's cool and everything. It's the people that show you the picture of their dog. The people, like Dean Koontz. I don't even read his genre, but I had the privilege of meeting him once, and he had his dog there. And the man almost broke into tears talking about how much he loved his dog. And I was like, oh, wow, like he's the real deal. And if I ever have the privilege to sit on the other side of the table like him, I'm going to be the same way.
A comparable authors list is the key to everything in publishing. It is literally, it's the lifeblood, it's the beginning. In my opinion, you should have a comp author list before you start writing your book. If you're a little further along in the process than that, it's not too late. I want you to stop whatever you're doing, put down the pen, set aside the keyboard, and I want you to come up with a list of authors who share your readers. See, too many writers and authors consider the other authors out there their competition. They are not your competition. They're your community. These authors out there have readers that you want. And these readers don't just read that one author. They read tons of authors, and you need to get a hold of them. So why would you put a marketing plan together? For that purpose, why would you even write a book until you know exactly who those readers are and who they're reading? So if you've written a romance novel and you know that your readers are absolutely obsessed with, in your particular subgenre, they like Elizabeth Chadwick, they like Philippa Gregory, they're really into Anglican historical fiction, go find the hundreds, and there are hundreds of authors out there that are writing Anglican historical history and fiction and romance novels. Find them all. And it's easy to find them. There's websites like Yazif.com, YASIV.com. It's a terrific way to find your comp authors. And again, comp means comparable, not competing. And there's lots of sites out there. Amazon itself. You can get the bestseller list in any genre or subgenre you want simply by finding the genre and clicking on the blue underlined link. And you will find the top 100 authors in that genre. Amazon cleverly lists them for you. Go find them. And then I want you to go online and I want you to befriend them on social media. I want you to take a look at who's following them on Twitter. What conversations are happening on their Facebook page? What are they talking about and what are they saying about these authors on Goodreads? There's so many ways to deeply delve and to get to know your readers and to get to know your marketplace. And too many authors, and I'm sure that if you're the one listening, I don't mean you, but every other author besides whomever you think you are at the moment, too many authors start writing, start marketing, start selling their books, start promoting, and they have no connection to their readers because they didn't go and find them. First you have to find them, then you have to interact with them, and then you start promoting your book. You don't walk into a cocktail party and within 2 seconds tell everyone about your book and say, everyone listen to me, hold on, I've got news. You wouldn't do that. Well, you don't do that in social media or on Goodreads or any of those other sites either. Get to know your community, become a member of that community, and then you can mention your book. And you will develop a lot of rabid fans simply by doing it in the right order.